Okay, we're in the heifer business feed cost tab. First up is our pasture rent. We're going to charge our heifers for our grass the same as we did with our cows. Even if we own our land, we're going to pay a market value to our land business for the grass that our heifers eat. No free lunch, right? The lug nut ranch weighs in 166 head of weaned heifer calves at 575 pounds each. A year later, they're weighing out at 900 pounds. This program lets you choose your dates on and off pasture and your weights on and off pasture, right? And it's going to figure our AUM equivalent depending on averaging out how much they're weighing and how many days they graze. Now, a lot of parts in the West and in the North Country, we're not grazing year round, right? So it lets you choose your dates on and off, but make sure and adjust your weights for your cattle on and off pasture. The lug nut ranch is charging 25 bucks per AUM. That also varies pretty significantly across the country. So put a fair release rate in for wherever you're at in the country. Here's a section for public land payment or aftermath grazing. If you are doing any other types of grazing, you can change those headings to whatever fits your operation. They're feeding some hay at 110 bucks a ton. That's not very much hay, obviously. They're charging themselves for a year worth of grazing. Those of us who aren't grazing year round will probably be feeding more hay than that. Salt and mineral, protein. Their total feed costs are $38,700 or 233 bucks per heifer. Moving to the livestock cost tab. Pretty straightforward on the livestock costs here. We're just going to be exactly like the cow-calf business. We got preventative medicine, treatment, bangs, preg check, vet costs. I think the cow-calf business just lumped them all into one. That's fine. Just make sure that you're separating out the heifer business share, right? This is not the total ranch vet costs, vet bill, right? This is only your heifer share. So make sure you're not double charging yourself for that stuff. Fuel, livestock supplies, utilities, trucking, right? Bull costs, other breeding costs if you're AIing. Pretty straightforward. The heifer share, here's per animal, here's per herd. Opportunity interest on capital. Remember, that's an opportunity cost. That's an economic cost, not a cash cost to our operation, right? We bought those weaned heifer calves for $130,000. The capital that we have wrapped up in them can no longer be invested somewhere else, right? So we have lost the opportunity to invest that $130,000 somewhere else, on or off the ranch. If we sold those heifer calves, or if we didn't buy those heifer calves, we would have that capital available, and could we make a return on that somewhere else? We're going to charge those heifers that opportunity cost, okay? Interest on operating capital, that's the heifer share of an operating note, if you have one. $119 in livestock costs per head. Okay, our overhead costs, similar to the cow-calf, right? We have $30,000 worth of our buildings allocated to our heifers. Take that by an 8% depreciation and repair. That's $14.46 per head to cover the replacement and maintenance of our buildings on our place. We're going to do the same thing with our equipment. We allocated that out to our heifers. Opportunity interest on equipment, right? If we weren't running heifers, if we were not in the heifer business and we sold that $18,600 worth of equipment that we have allocated to those heifers, could we reinvest that somewhere else and make some sort of return on that? That's an opportunity economic cost to running these heifers. We had some miscellaneous other overhead we allocated out to the heifers, and then some labor, right? So $94 worth of overheads that per head that these heifers are going to have to contribute towards ranch overhead costs. Okay, here's how our heifer business did. So our value of production, right? What we added in taking that weaned heifer calf and turning her into a developed bred heifer. 109,000 bucks or $660 per head is what our heifer business added to those animals, okay? We take off some feed costs, some livestock costs, some overhead costs. Here's our total cost of developing those heifers. Looks like our heifer business did pretty good, relatively speaking, right? 212 bucks a head that we profited. I don't know about you guys, but that number looks black to me. That's always a good sign. So one thing with this, you know, one question I feel like that's important to ask ourselves is, are these businesses working for us as a ranch, as our ranch as a whole, right? And most of us are used to looking at our ranch business and kind of paying our bills and paying our help and taking what's left over. But how do we know that our heifer business is making 212 bucks per animal, or almost $30,000 that our heifer business is profiting, and maybe some of our other enterprises are losing money, and our heifer business is covering for them, right? This is how we figure out where in our business we're making money and where we're losing money. And it's just a snapshot of 1 year, but as we move forward through this and we kind of start to see some trends, maybe we can see which of our enterprises we should be investing more of our resources in and possibly scaling up, and which we should maybe be taking a closer look at or maybe even not doing in the long run. So this is the heifer business. Thank you guys. The hay-in business is next.